Okay, we're ready now to look at Unit 2B, which is a continuation of the unit work that we did in Section 2A. This is going to be problem solving with units. This first part gives you sort of an overall guideline and way to approach problem solving. The first step is to identify the units that are involved in the problem and the units that you expect for the answer. So it's very important to think about what units you'll be expecting, where you're headed. Step 2, use the given units and the expected answer units to help you find a strategy for solving the problem. Be sure to perform all operations such as multiplication or division on both the numerator and their associated units. 2 reminders that you cannot add or subtract numbers with different units. You have to combine like terms, just like when we did algebra, you can't combine x's and y's together. They have to be alike. They have to have the same unit to be combined. You can multiply and divide or raise things to powers if they have different units. It is easier to keep track of units if you replace division with multiplication. So if you had something like 60 seconds per minute, that would be 60 seconds in the numerator per 1 minute in the denominator. Instead of dividing by this, it would be simpler to get the reciprocal, flip it upside down, and multiply by 1 minute per, instead of dividing by the fraction. That may be not their best example. When you complete your calculations, make sure that your answer has the units you expected. And if it doesn't, then you've done something wrong. Okay? This part right here I'm going to temporarily ignore. We'll do it on a later section of this video, but for the first part we're just going to be doing some applications that don't involve these. So we'll come back to those. Our first example is an airline. An airline travels 45 miles in 5 minutes. What is the speed? So they're asking us speed in miles per hour. So I'm noticing that the unit, that was step 1, is to see what you expect your answer to be. The answer unit we expect should be miles per hour. And what we were given is miles per minute. So we write down what we're given first. 45 miles, mi over 5 minutes. Okay, and this is basically what we want. We want miles per hour. So only the minutes part is messing us up. So when we multiply our unit conversion here, we want to get rid of the minutes down here. So I put minutes in the numerator, and I want it to be per hour, per meaning divided by, so the hours need to be in the denominator. And then I need an equivalence relationship that makes this a unit fraction. 60 minutes is equivalent to 1 hour. Alright, and you'll notice at this point that the minutes will cancel, and we have the desired units minute per hour on the answer. We multiply across the numerator, and that should give you 540 miles per hour. Okay, that's the first example. Okay, the second example on the next page is actually a practice problem. So at this time you will want to pause your video and complete this practice problem. Okay, the correct answer for this practice problem is 185 deaths, how morbid, per 100,000 people. If you did not get this, please review our previous example or read the book or try some exercises on my math lab. Alright, moving on to the next example. If you sleep an average of 8 hours each night, how many hours do you sleep in a year? So the question is, how many hours do you sleep in a year? Well, excuse me, I think I'm going to sneeze. We have 1 year. That's our given starting information. And we want to know how much you're going to sleep, how many hours you sleep. And that needs to be in a year. We need the hours of sleep. So we know that this time up here is given in 8 hours per night. And so we need to get our units 8 hours per day. We know that a year, we have to get out of a year. Oops, year. Somehow we've got to get to days, right, folks? We've got to get to each night. That would be part of a day. So this says year. And a day will be the units that we need. And we know that 1 year is equivalent to 365 days. And that will tell us the number of days in a year. And if you sleep an average of 8 hours a night, then every day you have to multiply that by the number of hours of sleep, which is 8 hours per day or night. I'll put day. You know what I mean. The night part of the day, right? Okay. And so you can see that this is going to tell us how many hours you will sleep in a year because we started with a year. So I multiply those numbers and you'll get 2,920 hours of sleep in a year. Remember to put your units on the short answer questions. The Math Lab sort of sets you up because they provide the units, but on your test you'll need to write your units on the short answers. Okay, we have another practice problem now, so please pause your video at this time and complete this next practice problem. Okay, the answer you should get is, when you do your calculations, you should come up with $3.60 per gallon is the better deal. Better deal. Okay. If you work it out the other direction, you're going to come up with that it costs $3.68 per gallon if you purchase it the other way by the tank. Okay, so we say better when we have two objects. If we have more than two, then we would say it's the best deal. If you have only two, you say better. Okay, that's the end of this first part of the lecture. When you're ready, you can do the second part.